I have $300,000 in student loan debt. What's your best advice to like tackling that student loan debt?
And it's not that you can't pay extra to it to pay it down, but why would you? Welcome to Free Advice Guy. I'm Luke Halter, Free Advice Guy. We're back at Fairy Tale Finds Winter Market, the sequel. We're here to have conversations and maybe change your life.
I have $300,000 in student loan debt, and currently I make $76,000 salary. Just trying to figure out what's the best advice to cut down on that student loan debt. We've been looking at TikToks, YouTube videos, doing some Google research. A lot of people are saying like there's a snowball method, or there's also, I guess, avalanche method. But what's your best advice to like tackling that student loan debt while only making $76,000, which isn't that much?
Is it a field where forgiveness is possible?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Because if forgiveness is possible, one, you have to look at how realistic it will be that forgiveness actually happens. How much will it actually be forgiven, right? If you got 300, are they going to forgive all of it? Are they going to forgive 200, right? A lot of the time they'll have minimum payments. You have to be making payments for 10 years, and then if you meet these other criteria, then we forgive it.
Correct.
Right? So it's really figuring it out, what forgiveness looks like. Can you live for that? Because once you know you're pursuing that, the program's legit, then you can focus on, okay, the minimum I have to pay towards this because it's going to get forgiven.
That's true. Okay.
And then you can look at other stuff. Because if you're going to be forgiven, it's not that you can't pay extra to it to pay it down, but why would you?
Yeah, if it's at the end, it's going to be forgiven.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's really what I figure out. How much is possibly going to be forgiven, and what is the likelihood? Because if it's like, yeah, maybe we might forgive it. If this happens and that happens, then it's possible you'll get forgiven. Okay, let's go ahead and plan to just pay this off, and if we get it forgiven, great, right? But if it's more of a certainty that'll be forgiven, that's one thing. All right, to answer your actual original question when it comes to paying it down, so you'll have, I'm assuming the interest rates are decent.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
they're like 9% is the highest.
Okay, that's not terrible, especially compared to other consumer debts. But if you just take all your balances and line them by the interest rate, right, and then do the multiplication, figure out how much you're paying in interest in real dollars per year, right? So if you got 100,000 at 10%, that's 10,000,
yeah.
right? As opposed to even if you have 20,000 at 20%, it's a higher percent, but it's only 4,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the avalanche method has you attack the highest interest in real dollars per year. This method is technically not the avalanche method. It is similar, but there are differences. This one doesn't have a name yet. And you can only do that if you multiply them out. Take your balance, multiply the interest, figure out approximately how much interest you're paying a year. You can pay the minimums on everything else and attack that one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you in general, if that's not the plan you go with, in general, you want to attack one debt at a time. There are more efficient ways to do it, like the avalanche method, mentally appeasing ways like the snowball method. But the most important thing is that you would generally attack one.
Yeah, which would be the biggest or the highest interest rate, or
so the snowball
loan?
method's like the opposite. The snowball might be you have a $1,000 balance. Even though you have this other $200,000 balance, the snowball method says pay that $1,000 balance off first. Because then there's a mental check.
That's
you paid it off, it's gone.
Yeah.
Now let's roll that payment into the next smallest one until that's gone. And then you keep going until that's gone. Right? So the avalanche method is the way to pay the least amount of interest over time. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's what will make you successful in completing this plan. Right? 300 grand is no joke. Right? You got to be disciplined, have a plan, know what you're doing, moving forward, figuring out the forgiveness and all that sort of stuff. But whichever method you decide, you just have to be mentally ready for it to go and attack it. That's really the most important part.
Yeah. Just go all out with it and kind of don't switch up plans. Like once you're rolling with one plan, stick with it.
I would say at least until you're done with whatever that next check box is.
Okay.
But see, even that, I don't want to be dogmatic, because if there's a real good reason to change,
Yeah.
change. right? Like, so for example, what a lot of people don't think, they'll take balances and roll it into 0 interest rates, which is it's a good thing. You're paying less interest. A lot of the time that'll be like 12 or 18 months. Well, that's a ticking time bomb. If you don't have it paid off by that 12 or 18 months, now all of a sudden you get charged all that interest that they weren't charging you, right? So that becomes your single biggest priority, so you don't get slammed with interest, right? So that's why I say it's hard to say without actually looking at everything, like, hey, this is what we should attack and all that sort of stuff. But as a general principle, yeah, just attack one debt at a time. It almost doesn't even matter which one it is mentally, because you'll go. But if you want to be more efficient with your money and pay it down faster, that's where the avalanche method comes in.
Cool. I got one more question. This is for me now.
Yeah.
401k and a Roth IRA, is that two separate things?
Yes.
Or okay.
So you can potentially, depending on your plan, have a Roth 401k. So that is also a possibility. But historically, people look at a 401k as pre-tax money, a Roth as post-tax money, if that makes sense. You've already paid the tax on the money going into the Roth. You have not paid tax going into the 401k. That's generally how it goes. But now, because employers are trying to offer more to employees, you could potentially get a Roth 401k as well. But sorry, to answer your actual question, 401k and an IRA, totally separate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. As far as, is it possible to take whatever I have in a 401k and if I'm leaving my current employer, flip that into a Roth? Or will I get like hit with some kind of fees or because I'm touching my 401k,
Yeah.
even if I'm leaving the company that I'm at now and going to a new career, is that going to be penalty? Like, is there a penalty on that?
So generally no. But what a lot of people do in that circumstance is they'll take it from 401k, put it into a rollover IRA, and they go from the rollover IRA and then do a Roth conversion. So that's something.
Okay.
There's a lot of nuance, because if you have other traditional money, doing a Roth conversion like that isn't actually as clean. So I'd probably want to talk to you about that a little bit more, but it is possible.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I think that's. Do you have any other questions you want me to ask for you? Awesome. Man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I'm Luke Halter, free advice guy. At 27 years old, I had $18,000 to my name. At 40, I retired from my corporate job a millionaire. I use tried and true principles to achieve financial freedom. I believe financial advice should be accessible to all. That's why I encourage you to join my free Patreon, where I'll teach you how to master your finances. When you join, you get access to our budgeting worksheet, and you can begin your journey to financial success. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. It helps get this video to the people who need it most. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.